again to Global Reports on Liberty Television from our studios here in Kaduna. You'll be watching us on Star Times Network, on Strong Decoder, on GoTV, on Multi TV, and now from this week on TSTV. So no excuse for not watching us. And of course online at libertytvradio.com and live streaming on YouTube. Well, once again we look at items that are breaking news and trending news from around the globe. And today in our studio we have two good friends. We have Ferdinand Okonkwo and we have our staffer from Liberty, Sani Garba. Welcome to the studio, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me today, or having us.
Again. Today, yesterday I would say, we watched some very disturbing news of yet another massacre in the United States of America. It seems to be a news which is always happening. This time in the US resort city of Las Vegas, where a lone 64-year-old white man this time, not an Islamist, not anything like that, not a terrorist in a normal way, but nobody understands. Name of Patrick, something, I've forgotten his name immediately, shot and killed 59 people and injured over 527 people, all attending Western Music Festival in the city. He was alleged to have had over 20 guns, including machine guns, and thousands of rounds of ammunition, as you can see from the still photographs which should be on your screen. We have discussed this thing so many times before on this channel and on this program, and I think we have said enough. When will USA realize that responsible gun control is inevitable and they have to think about it? Okay, we move quickly on to more pressing issues. Also on the international news in the last, shall I say, 3-4 days, we've had referendums for independence in two countries, I should say. We've had the Catalans having a referendum which was not approved by the government of Iraq, where they are currently living as a semi-independent state, and also the Catalan people in Spain, who are a minority group living in Spain, which also has a semi-independent homeland, but not approved by the Spanish government at all. In both cases, the governments of those countries tried to prevent the referendums taking place. And closer to home, we've had pressures, apart from Nigerian problems, in our neighbour Cameroon, where the people of southern Cameroon have been clamouring for an independent state of Ambazonia, which is basically the southern and English-speaking areas of Cameroon, which were included in the independence and actually taken away from Nigeria. Watch this short video compilation from BBC, Al Jazeera and RTV.
Spain in the region's contentious referendum. Unconfirmed figures say 2.26 million people defied a police crackdown and cast their ballots, amounting to a 42% turnout. The head of Catalonia's regional government, Carles Puigdemont, said a right to independence had been earned.
On this
day of hope and suffering, Catalonia's citizens have earned the right to have an independent state in the form of a republic. In the centre of Barcelona, there was a festive atmosphere with people chanting, "We have voted," but there was also concern over the force used by police to try and prevent the poll. I couldn't imagine it was going to end up like this, that the police would go against the population, which was voting in a democratic way.
Well, certainly here in Erbil, which is of course the regional capital, there's been frankly euphoria. I mean, you could barely move for Kurdistan regional flags in the city centre last night. There were fireworks and dancing in the streets. further afield, though, things are much more complicated, and what we've had from the international community are a series of statements overnight, and in the last couple of hours, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed some concern over what's taken place and said that he regretted that the vote had been declared unilaterally without the consent of the central government in Baghdad. But interestingly, the Americans, who are of course long-time allies of the Kurds, also said that the fact the vote had taken place would not change its historic relationship with them.
It is something that we've been covering for months, Doreen, here on the News Grid for quite some time, and we actually receive hundreds of WhatsApp messages about Cameroon pretty much every single day. Now, many people have sent videos like this one of people celebrating what they call Ambazonian culture and pride. But we've also seen lots of pictures like these of protests and violence. Some of these videos are so graphic that we couldn't even show them today. People bloody and injured after fighting with police. There have also been widespread protests like this one in southern Cameroon for almost a year now, despite them being banned. And activists say the internet is regularly shut down there, including at this very moment. So Cameroon's government denies this, and we've received several messages from people who worry the conflict could escalate. We have received several video messages from people who say secession is the only solution left. Many of them did not want to reveal their identities out of fear for their personal safety.
By all the standards of the UN, we are a people. We have a territory of our own. We recognize international boundaries. We have a language. We have a culture. We have our own laws. We have everything that is required by international standards to be a people and a nation.
The people of the southern Cameroons have suffered under the brutal regime of the annexationists, La République du Cameroun. We have suffered for 56 years, and we finally decided that enough is enough.
I think dialogue is the main solution, because the use of military has never been a solution to a problem concerning this kind of issues. So the government of Cameroon has to dialogue with the Anglophone regions.
Okay, it seems there is moves by communities to gain more independence or complete independence in several parts of the world at the moment. Should we start with the Catalans? These are the French, the Spanish enclave in Spain. What do you say, Ferdinand? Any comments?
Oh, well, of course, there is an ill wind that blows no one good. The Catalan issue had been a burning issue in Spain for a long time. But briefly, I will tell you that I blame it on what I termed, unreasonable nationalism being preached to young ones from the, young age until they grow up. You are living in a country, and when you give birth to a child, you are telling that child that, no, this is not your country. Catalonians have seen themselves as, looking like being superior to the entire Spain. They have superior culture according to them. They have superior language according to them. They have, they are proud of their, they are proud of themselves, but they are carrying it beyond what one could say the acceptable level. Go left to go right. The truth of the matter is that nations are governed by laws.
Yeah, but also nations...
Whatever you are going to do, whether you call it referendum or whatever, it must be conformed with the laws governing the country.
Yeah, but
as it is today, the Spanish law has no room for what they did. And that's the truth.
Yeah, but anybody who has their own culture and their own language has a right for that culture to be incorporated within the larger nation.
They are incorporated within the larger nation. They are part of Spain. The Spanish government had given them what they call, nationality status. They have their own constitution, they have their own laws, they have their own government within Spain. That is something like a consent and something the Spanish government considered just to accommodate them. Remember, the Basque terrorist organization are watching.
That's a bit different.
Should there be any reason Spain grants Catalonia independence? The Basques will stand up tomorrow and demand for their independence.
Sani, what do you say?
Actually, I'm with the other guests because if now Spain allow this to happen, well, we will have problem almost in the whole Europe.
Okay, let's move on. What about the next item, which is Kurdistan in parts of Iraq? And don't forget, the Kurds are scattered across the Middle East, into Turkey, into parts of Syria.
Iran, into Syria,
That's
they
a
are
different
scattered.
case.
They are scattered in many, Middle Eastern countries. But the particular people that are demanding for independence are the Kurdistans within Iraq. They are demanding for independence. Those within Turkey are demanding for their separate independence. Those within Syria, this is not coordinated. The referendum that was conducted by the Kurdistans within Iraq.
Yeah. But I think
Like I said earlier,
there's a larger Kurdish movement.
there is no room anywhere in the world for anybody to operate without and outside the ambits of the law. We made the law. You must be guided by that same law. In whatever you are pursuing, you must pursue it within the ambits of the law. The international community said they don't recognize the referendum that was conducted because it was not done within the law.
But Ferdinand, these people were the very same people who, as Saddam Hussein tried to systematically murder. They gassed them, don't forget, in Iraq. Sani, what do you think of this one?
I don't think it is wise for the Kurdish to demand for freedom now, because know how a country like Turkey, if you remember, somewhere around, I think, around 2000, there was this problem with this Kurdish in the Turkey.
Yeah.
And PPKK. And it has taken quite a long time, destroyed life, properties, and it went like that. So now know how the Iranian people will allow, the Iraq will allow
the Turks.
The Turks to have their own
people
freedom.
have an overall right to try and unify themselves eventually.
Yes, they have the right. Nobody is denying them the right.
Okay.
But you should remember where your right begins is where my own right ends. And where my right ends is where your right begins. So no matter what you are pursuing, agreed. Pursue it within the ambits of the law governing the nation. If we all should go and pursue our own interests outside the law, what is the nation again?
Law is important.
There will be no nation.
Okay, let's move on. We did like 3 items. The next one would be what's happening in the Cameroon. Well, what's you guys' views on this?
Cameroonian issue. You see, we must understand that the greatest virus in the world today is not what we call cancer. It's not HIV. The greatest virus in the world today is ideology. This is something you sell to some people and they are ready to kill millions. What killed over millions of lives in the First and Second World War was ideology.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Today, people are selling ideology just within a whisker. Somebody can sit somewhere and say, no, we need independence. We are not against you needing independence. Far from it. It must be understood. But within the country where you still belong, there are rules and regulations guiding the nation. You were there when those rules were made. If it is contained in that rules that yes, within that bracket, you can demand for it legitimately. Go ahead.
Sandy, what do you say?
But violence cannot give us an answer.
In this aspect, I will still be with the gentleman, because whatsoever you will demand, you should follow the rule and regulations. If we can allow ourselves to be like that, almost the whole world will be in a problem.
So you don't think the southern Camerooni people have a right to request more?
No, they have the right, but they should follow the law.
There is a difference between requesting for your right,
and
protesting for your right,
and
fighting for your right. Request is a request. Anybody can request. Anybody cannot go out protesting for your right. Few people can still go out and fight for right. And remember, I said it earlier, these things are somebody's ideas mooted in one corner. The mooters of that idea has their, what they call, their unknown to the crowd interest. The interest they are pursuing is unknown to the crowd on the street. And every time we say public opinion, what is public opinion in governance? The public doesn't have the information those in government has. Therefore, if you base government policy on public opinion, you are basing it purely on non-information.
Providing you have a transparent
Simple.
government.
What we are saying is pure and simple. You have right to demand anything, but you don't have right to stop me doing whatever I'm doing because you are demanding for something.
Okay.
I should do my own, you do your own. That is all about life.
And now we move on to another contentious issue, which is our homegrown issue, the problems of what we call IPOB, the independence of Biafra. Now, this week I understand, from what I'm seeing on the news, that the so-called leader of Biafra has disappeared since the army attacked his Mwahia compound. What you have to say? You have more information?
I just want to say something here. Somebody said IPOB is a childish idea. And I totally subscribe to it. That is a childish idea. Childish in every ramification of it. Childish in pursuit. I remember one statement this young man made on television while addressing some people. He said, while I was in prison, they offered me Biafra without Rivers and Benue. I told them it will not work. This is somebody who has never called for once a conference of the Benuans, a conference of the river people. What do you want? This is my proposal. How do you see? We've never done that. He just woke up one day and said, God told me. Well, I don't doubt he's God, but I doubt everything about that young man. You can see his composure. You can see his nature. He's just somebody that is seeking. Like I told you, this is an ideological thing. You see, Biafra is an ideology that should be like, you want referendum. It boils down to the same thing we are talking about. Where is it in the constitution of Nigeria that you should have referendum? You want to force it on others. I tell you the truth. It was a childish thing that started childishly, allowed to, grow wings, grow tails, and became a national issue. Give me the authority tomorrow, that man wouldn't have lasted the long he lasted in causing this trouble. The hair will not fall.
Let's have your take on this.
The issue of IPOB, well, I will blame the elders and the state governors for allowing this thing to reach this time. Because the state governors didn't make any move, and the elder statesmen there also didn't make any move to stop this, because he's a small boy. When Biafra...
He wasn't even born.
He was not even born when they fought for Biafra. So I'm blaming them because they have seen yesterday and yesteryears. They could have called him to order, but they refused. Not until when the northern youth make certain move that the Igbos should go by so time, they start making a comment, meeting here and there. You see, most of the time I blame our leaders for all this mess that we are seeing.
Yeah, well, so many messes things have been allowed to get out of hand. I think like Boko Haram got out of hand.
Many issues, and we keep pushing the blame here and there.
Yeah.
Was it an elder's fault? I, for one, will say no. When they started, it was started as a movement. There is nothing you can hold on to say, I proscribe you, until they went violent. When they went violent, the governors capitalized on that to now proscribe them because they went violent. Before then, we are in law because everything centers in the law. If you stand up then and proscribe them, the case was in court. They can still return to court and defeat you within the ambits of the law. They played into the platform, and the platform caught them. Because when you are carrying stone and throwing to soldiers who are moving on the street, what are you calling for? Violence.
And what do you get back?
What are you getting? What will you get back? Violence. At the security palace, there is this saying that when a man has made up his mind to die, what do? You try to prevent him from not dying. But if he insists in dying, you help him to die alone. That's very simple. So in this case, you say elders. We can as well blame the northern elders for allowing Boko Haram to get out of hand. Let's stop this blame game. Going forward, I take what Kano youths did. At the heat of this matter, they came to the street. Oh no, I was marveled. Dressed like Igbos and was appealing to their people. The Igbos in Kano are our friends. Don't attack them. Can the youths of this nation copy from this, allowing these old men that are expiring, you know, who will stand one day and be shouting for war, find the embers of war here and there in the name of elders, forum elders, these elders. We don't need these elders for all I care. Let the youths come together, borrow a leaf from what Kano has there. Can we do that? Yes, we can. We will give a direct answer to those who are championing the division of the country because they want a small group where they can manage and rule. Take it today from me. If we eventually dismember this nation and say, Biafra, you go on your own, the next day we'll have more than 10 nations out of Biafra. Because I, for one, will not allow Kano to rule me. I will have my own nation where I will become the champion. That is it. But the bigger we are, the better for us. Nations are coming together to form one integration or the other. We are proper. It's the same thing in all these nations we are looking at. That we have fault. Yes, we have fault. There is no marriage that is perfect. That we have problem. Yes, we have problem. There is no home that is perfect. But do you destroy that home in trying to solve the problem? No, that's not the solution. We can disagree and agree. We can rub shoulders here and there, and then we move forward. Nigeria today is not the same as Nigeria in 1967. So many things have changed, and we must recognize those changes. Those who are making the smooth change impossible, we will not give them violent change. Because this is our country. If we cause violence in our country, if I go to America today with all the money in my pocket, I'm still a refugee.
Gaba, do you have a way forward? What's your thoughts on the way forward?
The way forward is for the stakeholders and the government come together, fashion way out, at least to find a lasting solution for this type of problems that we are seeing.
I think as we've said before, Nigeria is stronger united. Nigeria is stronger united than disunified, for sure. Well, ladies and gents, everybody in the studio, our time is now against us, and we'd like to thank Ferdinand and Sani for joining us today.
Thank you for having me once more.
Again, we'd like to thank the studio crew and the production crew from for making the program a success. And thanks again for watching us, and we hope you'll join us the same time, same place in another week's time. Thank you very much.